All right, guys and girls, I wanted to create this video to show you guys a little bit more about how to draft emails and more specifically, initial emails to college coaches. So what we're talking about here is creating one email to introduce ourselves, get our foot in the door, and really put ourselves on a pedestal and make a good first impression to a college coach. Okay. So generally speaking, this is done to anywhere from 25 to 45 schools, depending on who you are as a junior golfer and what your scope of outreach is. Those are going to be reach schools, target schools, and safety schools or likely schools. And there's also going to be a few components to those. Typically speaking, we have a resume that's going to be in a PDF attached. There's a swing video, which I'll show you guys in a second, is going to be a YouTube link integrated to the bottom of the Gmail signature. So that should be on every email you send, not only this first email, but any email that's a reply or any new composed email. It should pop up and have that saved if you use it in Gmail signature. And then also an introduction letter, okay, which is, in this case, will be the body of our letter for our initial introduction, okay? So let's jump right in. So for example, I have Caden Burr here. This is an introduction letter, wrote about some of the challenges that he faced in the game, and wanted to let coaches know he's really working on his speed. Okay. So what we've done is we've put the introduction letter into the master draft here, and that's it, just like I highlighted it, not including the signature, and not including the subject line up here. What we're going to do is, obviously here, needless to say, we have coach name, university name, and university name here as well, and there as well. Okay. And then obviously this number one attracting factor. What we can go ahead and say is number 2 and number 3 attracting factors. Because ideally we're going to tell coaches more than just one reason that we're interested. Okay. All right. So pretty easy to say, but why don't we go ahead and show you guys how this would actually work. So for example, I know Caden is reaching out to the University of Kentucky. So first thing he would do is he would copy this all the way down to his signature, because the signature should pop up on the new email. Go ahead and copy and paste. Okay, we've done so. I'm going to go ahead and move this up to the subject line, and I'm going to type in Kentucky. Okay, so I'm going to go and what I've done is I've gone ahead and added Caden's school database, coaches, and contacts to his Gmail contacts. I've imported those contacts. Okay, so that pops right up. I know right away, go ahead and move this up, that Coach Craig is his name, and that now we have blank university. In this case, we're talking about the University of Kentucky, not, for example, James Madison University. So one of the easiest things, if you know the abbreviation for the school, it's actually a better look to just go UK. Okay? That's totally fine. That's not being short. That's actually what they call it. Okay? So what you could do is just go down here and do UK for each school. Okay? If it's another school where you want to detail it out, feel free, but I actually really do like the use of a short name there. Okay? So very simply, what we're doing here in terms of presenting this initial email to them and our initial introduction is we're giving them an introduction to us and where we're from and who we are. We're telling them one of the struggles in our past experiences, and we're also telling them presently how hard we're working and also how we're seeing success or how we've overcome struggle to see success in the past, and then giving not only a reason to believe that it would make sense for us to speak, but also asking if it would make sense to speak. Okay? So ideally, this is actually going to be a question. So instead of saying, if you think it would make sense to speak, sometime in the next few weeks, I'm free between, and then we would give them a Chinese menu, right? Wednesday from 3 to 5, Thursday from 1 to 4, and Friday at 1 p.m. for about 30 minutes, right? That might be a Chinese menu. But in this case, what we want to do in an initial email is say, do you think it would make sense to speak over the phone in the next few weeks? Okay, and then maybe give them an I'm available and then Chinese menu. Okay, between X times and X dates. That's a really, really, really awesome thing to do. Okay, and then very simply, what we're going to do is we will attach Cadence PDF. So make sure you find the right resume, and that's not the right one. I'm just giving an example here. I would actually attach his PDF, which we don't have ready yet. And I would then want to research, and most importantly speaking, I got to talk to you guys about this. This is the most important piece when drafting this initial email and any successive email from here on out. We want to let them know why we're interested. We are not going to say things like, Coach, I'm interested in UK because of its wonderful location, campus life, and golf program. Not specific enough, not detailed enough. What instead we could say is, Coach at James Madison University. I love the town of Harrisonburg, Virginia. I've really enjoyed seeing some of the campus videos and Wilson Hall. And what attracts me most is that you recruit international players. Okay, that's something where he can tell you've done your research, you know a little about the program, and it's time, and he's ready to get on the phone. Okay, showing these attracting factors to coaches and really explaining yourself as to what you're interested in and what you're attracted to is 90% of the battle here. Okay, so if any time is spent on these emails, I would want even more time to be spent finding out why you're interested. Okay, and some easy ways to do it, we'll show you real quick. Some easy ways to do it here. We go to capx.com and let's go to, let's just say university, let's just say Kentucky men's golf into Google. Okay, and we'll type in Kentucky CapEx as well, University of Kentucky. All right, guys, so very simply from an athletic perspective, you can jump in, check out the roster, where the guys are from. You can check out the coach's history. You can check out, the ages of the players, and if it's an older team or a younger team, whether you like that or whether you're against that. Check out the coach's history, not only the head coach, but the assistant, which both should be added on the emails. And then also tournament schedules, right? Really cool to see what they're playing in, what they're getting prepared for. And then even to another level, if you have, facility pages or anything, statistics, those sort of things, I think those are great things to check out. And then from a CapEx perspective, what we can do is look at the University of Kentucky here and just get some really great initial facts. Look at acceptance rate. If acceptance rate is below, 20, 25%, that's going to be a really difficult school to get into. I think national average is 62%. Looking at the setting, is it in a major city? Is it in suburbia? Or is it in more of rural America, right? And understand how that fits your mold, application deadlines. There's a ton of good information here, okay? So long story short, when we are putting in these attracting factors in this initial email, it's really important that we go into detail, okay? So guys and girls, I can help you with that. Please just let me know if you have any questions regarding that. These initial emails, ideally, it doesn't matter when you send them out, but at the same time, you want to make sure it's a time when they're going to be in their office. And it's also a time when you've had, so I say it doesn't matter when. It does matter when, but ideally, we don't want these to be quick. We'd rather them be good and efficient emails, okay? So what I typically do is have guys create the emails, revise them in Google, and then do a final revision before they're sent out on a Monday morning at 7:30 or a Wednesday at 11 a.m. Ideally during the season, so we're talking August to the end of October, and we're talking, February until pretty much the end of April for most teams, even farther if you're a competitive top Power 5 school. We're talking contacting coaches earlier in the week and earlier in the day, typically your best bet, okay? So I think more than anything, the message I want to extend to you guys and girls out there are, this is your first impression of college coaches. Make sure it's a good one, and make sure you're putting in significant effort to not only do these emails, but to research those 1, 2, and 3 attracting factors and really explain to coaches why you might be interested in their college or university, okay? Best of luck on the recruiting trail. Talk to you guys soon.